going on YouTube? It is Ray Pulse back another video. In today's video, we have another Chelsea news video today. It's pretty early in the morning for me, but there has been a ton that's kicked off already. Been announcements, been players agreeing personal terms with other clubs, so definitely a lot to make a video out of. There's been new links, there's been existing links, so yeah, definitely enough to make a video out of, so that's what we're doing right now. So yeah, let's just jump straight into it when we talk about this dude who's always seems to get brought up. Fabrizio Romano earlier today on Instagram said that Nani Madueke is a main target for Arsenal this summer. I think we knew this with how the deal has been leaked. I don't know if Chelsea's forcing him out or not anymore. It doesn't really know. It's really hard to tell because it seems like he does want to go. I did forget to put this on the thing, but I can drag it over in a sec. I need to find the quote if I can. Here we are. Maresca commented on Madueke yesterday and said that he wants players who are happy to be with us, and the ones that are not, they can go. And he said that on Madueke when he was asked about him. So it seems like Nani Madueke is unhappy at Chelsea, and that might be a reason why he's the main target for Arsenal this summer, and it seems like we're forcing him out the club. Which I guess is the right thing to do if he's unhappy, but yeah, I wish it was gone in a better way, because Nani Madueke was someone that was impactful for us last season. But again, if he's unhappy here, you just gotta let him go. And Arsenal's targeting him mainly, so it seems like he could be off that way. Further on that, we have Fabrizio, who actually pinned this tweet, saying that Arsenal have now started advancing on personal terms with Nani Madueke. Madueke hasn't asked to leave Chelsea at this stage, focused on the Club World Cup. Meanwhile, he's understood to be open to the Arsenal move. Nothing agreed / close between clubs yet. Obviously, there hasn't been a club-to-club proposal. There's just been a personal terms talk as of 2 hours ago. But then, pretty much 2 hours after that tweet was posted, more on the Nani Madueke and Arsenal story that he reported earlier today. The agreement on personal terms is ready and done, with parties advancing on details this morning. Madueke said yes to Mikel Arteta's project. Club-to-club talks will start in the upcoming days. So, yeah, this deal's progressing quickly. I expect it to be done pretty much after the Club World Cup is over, if I'm being honest. I think we need him for the rest of the Club World Cup, but I don't think his head's going to be in it. So I don't know how much of an impact he's going to play, because obviously we have João Pedro, who can now play on the wing for us. We have Jackson, who can play on the wing if need be. Either of those could play up top too. We have Neto, we have Palmer, we have George. So we have dudes that can play the wing that I'd put above the pecking order on Nani Madueke now, because I just don't think his head's going to be in the tournament at all anymore. I think he's just going to be more focused about moving to Arsenal. And apparently that's what's going to happen, because club-to-club talks are going to begin. And personal terms are already agreed, which is backed up by David Ornstein, who said that Nani Madueke agrees personal terms with Arsenal as they consider approaching Chelsea for the England international. Arsenal have the 20-year-old or 23-year-old's green light, plus strong relations with Chelsea, but no club-to-club talks yet. Firm option to bolster on both wings. Yeah, I think he's a solid option on both the left wing and the right. Definitely the double the player on the right than he is the left, but he's still decent off that left. I mean, he's playable. And I think sometimes when Martinelli's in that awful form, you could play him over Martinelli, and I don't think it'd be anything bad at all. I don't think it'd be a bad buy for Arsenal, but do I want him at Chelsea? Not really. I don't like the way he plays. I've said this multiple times. But I do want to get substantial money for him, because I do think he's good enough to get substantial money for, around the 55 million mark that Anthony Elanga just got Nottingham Forest, as he's off to Newcastle. I don't know if it's official yet or not, but that's the bid. And if someone of Elanga's level is getting 55, then Madueke should be going for around that same, because I rate them as fairly similar players. But yeah, it seems like Nani Madueke is pretty much off to Arsenal, and the fee will be most likely agreed to in the coming days, or talked about in the coming days, with the overall package being revealed to us fans about how much it may be. Either way, it's going to be profit on the books, which is never a bad thing, especially for a player that doesn't want to be at the club. Just something similar to George Petrovic, but I just don't know how that deal has progressed with Sunderland or not. But yeah, it seems like Madueke is pretty much off to Arsenal at this point. It's just up to the clubs now, but the player might push for the move, might not. We'll see, but it seems like he does want to go to Arsenal, and it seems like that's the likely scenario. As I said yesterday, I would bet on Madueke joining Arsenal. But yeah, that's that. But who's going to come in to replace him? Um, I think it's this guy right here. I still think Kudus is going to be the one to replace Madueke. And the ex West Ham employee who has really good sources with the club in West Ham say that West Ham are confident Chelsea will submit a better offer than Spurs for Mohamed Kudus. West Ham would also prefer he goes to Chelsea over Spurs. We know they hate Spurs. They hate us too, but they hate Spurs more than us. So, I think they'd rather ship him off to us rather than Spurs, and I think we will bid that 60 million that they're asking for. I know Spurs offered 50 plus 5 over 5 years, which is 10 a year, and then if you get the add-ons, you get 5 million. It's a nothing deal pretty much. Yeah, the fee looks big in 10 million, but 10 million a year isn't that substantial for your books, especially for a player like Kudus, who's of that stature, of that gravy, who we know is going to make a big jump. And yeah, I think Chelsea closes this deal, especially if we let Madueke go. And I'd be happy to close this deal because I do think Kudus is a very good player and someone that can make a big impact for us. So yeah, I'd be very happy if Kudus comes through the door, especially for that 60 million pound mark. I think that's a good deal for a player of his quality and his versatility. Obviously, I've said multiple times, can play across the front four, and I think can make a big impact for us next season. If we are to make a deep run in any type of competition, or just in the Premier League, needing fresh legs week in, week out, and I think Kudus is someone that can do that for us, and I think someone that can start off that right hand side if Neto isn't having good form, or can start in the 10 if Palmer isn't going to have good form, or if Pedro and Delap both don't do anything and Jackson's out the club, then Kudus could start at the 9, and if Giddens isn't playing well on the left, Pedro can play on the left, or Kudus can play on the left. I really like these versatile signings that we're making. And I think Kudus could be another one of those that proves to be a very important piece for what the project is moving forward, because I think he is that good. I keep watching West Ham games to watch Mohamed Kudus, and didn't have a great season last season, but was amazing the season before when West Ham actually had competent tactics and a competent manager in David Moyes. But then obviously they sacked him. They went with Lopetegui, who was just awful, and then Parr. Yeah, don't know what happened really there. But I guess we'll see how they do in this season. But I don't know if he keeps his job there, to be honest. I do think it's a good job for him, but I definitely think with the money they've invested into the squad, they should be a little bit better of a side. And Mohamed Kudus is one of those players that they invested in that's of that gravy, of that top tier. But I'd be more than happy to have him join Chelsea and help us in the Champions League, Premier League, Carabao Cup, FA Cup, all four of those competitions that we're in. And I think we could do that deal for 60 million pounds, and it'd be a good price for him. Um, and West Ham seem confident that we're going to do that, so I'm happy. But moving on, Jamie Gittins, we know he was announced by Dortmund for some reason before us, but he was also announced by us. The announcement was nice. It was short and sweet video. I really like our social media team. Praise goes to them. Um, but yeah, Jamie Gittins' first comments were that it's a great feeling to join such a big club as Chelsea. I can't wait to learn from everyone in the team and to push myself to the max here. It's an amazing feeling. We know he pushed for the move. We know he wanted the move desperately, and I'm really happy to see him come through the door because I do think he's our best winger for that touchline role. Him and Neto are going to be our touchline wingers for next season. It seems like, and I think he's very good at that. He excels in those 1v1 tight spaces. Really direct, really good at finding the back of the net from that wing spot, and I think that's something that we need. Um, so yeah, I'm really happy to see him come through the door. I've spoken a lot about Gittins on this channel. I even have a video between him and Fafana, and who I would like to bring in. And I chose Gittins, so I'm really happy that this deal went through. And yeah, I'm happy to see that he pushed for the move. He wanted to be at Chelsea. He rejected Bayern Munich for Chelsea. It's just a good feeling all around. Yeah, I'm really excited for this deal to go through. And I'm happy we announced him finally after Dortmund announced him before us and said negotiations were tough. We wish Jamie all the best. He's leaving, all that gibberish, and now he's finally here, and we finally announced him because he was spotted yesterday at the game wearing Chelsea stuff on the pitch with the players. But apparently Delap and Palmer were the ones that told him to come to Chelsea. and I'm happy for that. I think get the band back together. I think they're all very good players with a lot of room to grow. Um, and yeah, I'm happy to see him join Chelsea. And this is the total package, which I actually really don't mind. Um, 48.5 million pound fee, and 3.5 million pounds in add-ons as we sign Jamie Gittins, who's 20 from Borussia Dortmund. Yeah, 52 million pound package with a 48 million pound base fee. Pretty cheap deal, I'd say, or not cheap. Sorry, pretty expensive deal, I'd say. Sorry. But you know, at least it's not the 55-60 Borussia Dortmund we're holding out for. We got him for 52. I would have liked to see it around 50-45, but we are around the 50, so not the end of the world. Not cheap, obviously. I misspoke when I said cheap by accident. I meant to say pretty expensive deal. But we see the winger market. We see how Langa's up for 55. It makes this deal look cheap, is what I was going to say. Is that the deals that are going across football make these Gittins deals look not, I guess not cheap is the word, but not bad. Little bit of a bargain if you're seeing Alanga go for 55 and then you see Gittins go for 52. So yeah, happy to see him come through the door, and that's on Jamie Gittins. And now we have this that came out today, which was pretty shocking. Um, Fabrizio Romano said that Chelsea have been showing interest in Ethan Wanyeri. Oh, I mistyped right here. There's supposed to be an N. Oh, I completely mistyped. I hit R instead of N. Whoops. That says Noyeri. Ethan Wanyeri. Um, Chelsea have been showing interest in Ethan Wanyeri situation only in case new deal won't be sealed with Arsenal. I'm human too, guys. Just ignore this and focus on this name right here. Nwaneri and Arsenal in talks over new deal while player wants game time guaranteed. Separate deal from Madueke, who agreed personal terms with Arsenal. And then there's one more. As Simon, I mistyped this again. As Simon Phillips reported, he said, as exclusively revealed on my site via the Substack app section, chat section yesterday. He said sources Ethan Wanyeri, Chelsea are keeping close tabs and are scouting Ethan Wanyeri. Even if he signs a new contract, it will not put Chelsea off. That's why we're open to selling Nani Madueke to Arsenal. We feel it could help in a future pursuit. I fully back this. I see the talent that Ethan Wanyeri is. And I'd be ecstatic to get him through the door. I did not expect this at all. I know there were jokes going around in the Chelsea fan base like, oh, use the Madueke money and get Wanyeri in return and slap a 40 million pound bid for Wanyeri and get him through. And we're all like joking around about what if Wanyeri comes the other way. But it seems like it's a possibility. Because he wants guaranteed game time. Can we do that? I don't think so. Um, Maybe off that left hand side, if he wants to. I know he's a left footer that plays on the right, but um, yeah, I think he could play on that left hand side a little bit. Definitely want to watch a little more games of him because he did play a decent amount for Arsenal last season. So I'll probably watch. I don't know if I want to watch Arsenal games. I don't want to fall asleep. Um, but yeah, maybe I'll watch some game highlights to see, but maybe not full 90s because I will catch myself passed out on the bed. Um, but yeah, Ethan Wanyeri linked to Chelsea. I don't know anything about context between the camp and the club or the base fee, but I like the player. I like the talent. So definitely someone I'd be open to bring in. But that's pretty much everything on Wanyeri. There's not much to talk about other than we're pretty much interested. Other than that, last thing, Sky Cabe said that Chelsea have made £61 from the Club World Cup so far, which is an absurd amount of money. And why don't we just take that money and use it for Mohamed Kudus and get him through the door for that 60 million pound fee that not Newcastle, sorry, Newcastle are interested in Kudus, but West Ham are asking for. We could pretty much just reallocate that money for Mohamed Kudus and get him through the door with that money. So why not do that? No, but in all seriousness, this Club World Cup has been a great sum of money for us. I don't think it's something that Chelsea should take for granted. I think it should be something that we use to make a lot of players that aren't market opportunities because now we have the extra money. So it makes them an opportunity because the opportunity was given from the Club World Cup to us. So we just use that opportunity to make those players that ask for substantial wages or ask for substantial fees from the club opportunities in their own. But yeah, that is everything. PSG, Bayern is about to kick off, and then we have Real Madrid Dortmund later today. And if there's more news, I'll definitely be come back with a new news video. It's pretty early in the day, so I expect a lot more to kick off, but there was a lot that kicked off today as well. So, yeah, happy to see us go through to the semifinal. Again, if more news comes out, I'll definitely post. But obviously, my match review just came out as well. But again, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Yeah, thank you so much for the support. We hit over 75 subs, and 2 videos are pretty much on 1,000 views now. So, thank y'all so much for the support. It really shows me that y'all are liking my content, and it definitely strives for me to do more content. So, yeah, thank y'all so much for that. Again, if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to like and subscribe. And as always, it's Repulse, and I'm out. Peace.